Welcome to the very first SR4U Q&A of 2020, your interesting and or weird football boot related questions and my answers to them, all pulled from my Instagram, which you see on screen right now. It'll also be linked down below, SR4U_Josh. If you have a boot related question that you'd like me to potentially answer in an upcoming Q&A, make sure you go and follow me there if you don't already. Also, this is the first Q&A of the year, so if you guys want to continue seeing this series on the channel, don't forget to support this video with a like. What sneakers do you wear most at the moment? Let me just show you. Okay, I would say 90% of the time I'm wearing one of these three sneakers. The first being this particular pair of Nike Air Force Ones. These being, I believe, from the Just Do It pack. They came out a little over a year ago, maybe it was 2 years ago now. They're getting a little bit kind of messed up here on the bottom. I actually should clean them, but I'm very bad at doing that. But I just really like how they look. Super simple. You can wear them with pretty much anything and also really comfortable. If you're asking about my most worn pair, period, it's definitely this guy right here. This is a Yeezy 350 V2, I think. I'm not even really sure. There's so many Yeezy names out there now. This is a colorway that I don't know the name of either, kind of like this sand color. I have a couple different colors of this particular Yeezy model that I wear, but these in particular, super comfortable. Again, you can wear them with pretty much anything. I know that a lot of people think that it's just not a cool sneaker anymore. I am not one of those people, and I don't really care what other people like. I like the look of them. I find them really comfortable, and it's just kind of my go-to sneaker right now. And then these, which is this weird Nike model that quite honestly, I don't even know the name of. I'll try to put it on screen right now so you guys can look it up if you want. Just again, a black sneaker, very easy to wear, kind of a little bit weird looking, but with a pair of sweatpants, I think they look pretty cool. What are your overall expectations for boots in 2020? I actually made a video about a week ago talking about what I think are the 5 most anticipated football boots of 2020. And as far as I think what we could and should expect this year, obviously a lot more sock boots. I think we are going to potentially get some really interesting stuff from the Adidas brand because given their turnover rate, they could potentially have brand new generations of every single football boot that they currently have on offer, which is always exciting. You know Nike's going to do something big with both of the Phantoms, which are due to be replaced, and potentially even the Mercurial, especially given the fact that it is a Euro year. Puma, we're probably going to get brand new stuff from them across the board as well. New Balance seems to be coming out with something new for Sadio Mane. It looks like the next generation Furon. That could potentially be really good because they seem to improve with every new generation. But I think what I'm most excited about is the potential for the return of a true power boot, or at least something along the lines of what the power boot series used to be. The new Predator is on the way. The new Phantom Vision could be something special. Whatever they replace the Phantom Venom with, it's already kind of trending towards power boot. Maybe the next generation will be something a little bit more extreme. And I'm just hoping that we get more variety because of the introduction of something like the power boot style, because right now it kind of seems like there's just too many sock boots on the market. So I'm hoping that in 2020, while I think we will continue to see sock boots, I think some greater variety is something to look forward to. Hey, James Rodriguez, and before you try to call me out for saying that wrong, he's asking me. That's my name. I know how to say my own name. Do you think the old Nike boots are better than the new ones? Obviously, everyone has their favorites, and Nike being such a big brand, having so many great boots over the years, there's going to be plenty of people that just like a Nike boot that is no longer in production. Hypervenom Phantom 1, Flyknit Ultra, Nike Mercurial Vapor 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe even 12 for some people. Superfly 4 is a really popular one. I was a big fan of the entire T90 Laser series. I really like the Tiempo Legend 5. There's a bunch of older Nike boots that honestly I'd be happy to wear over what they currently have on offer. But to answer the question, are the new boots actually better than the old boots? I think what Nike has always done well over the years in terms of the progression of their products is that objectively, meaning the performance characteristics that really can't be argued, the structure of the upper, the lockdown, the responsiveness, the traction, maybe even the weight of the entire product. This is something that with every new generation, I would say 95% of the time, Nike does tend to improve over what they were doing before. However, this does not take into account the personal preference aspect of a football boot, which is the touch and the feel and the experience of wearing the product. You could have something that is objectively a great performer, but the feel could be a little bit lacking. And that to me is one of the main complaints that I have with the Nike Tiempo Legend 8. I think it's better than the Legend 7 objectively when it comes to the way that it performs and even the overall comfort, but the touch on the ball I think is lacking in comparison to other football boots in that particular category that don't perform as well, but they do offer a nicer feel. I think Nike, more than any other brand, is a very technology focused company where they try to cram as much new tech into every new football boot that they put out as possible, which typically they do get right when it comes to overall performance, but sometimes I think the boots can end up being maybe a little bit more complicated than they need to be, which typically won't hurt the performance side of things, but can hurt the overall feel. However, to answer the question very simply, I think their current offering of boots across the board is arguably, at least when you're talking about objective performance, better than what they were doing before. So while I'm a huge fan of a bunch of older Nike models from a feel and experience perspective, when it comes to objective performance, I do think that their newer stuff is better. So I think the answer to this question really comes down to which side you value more, objective performance or general feel. Hey Zeus, want to know if there's a huge difference between takedown goalkeeper gloves and top models? I'm going to actually take this opportunity to address the people that always ask me to do reviews on goalkeeper gloves. That's not something that I would feel comfortable doing based on the fact that, one, I'm not a goalkeeper. And two, I just don't have enough experience with a variety of products that are currently available to accurately assess what I think is good or bad. So for that reason, I won't be reviewing goalkeeper gloves. However, I am very familiar with goalkeeper gloves when you're talking about high end versus low end. I used to work at a soccer store. We sold a lot of goalkeeper gloves, and I did have a little stint playing as a goalkeeper. So what I can tell you is that when it comes to high end gloves versus low end gloves, obviously aside from quality, one of the main differences that you're going to find is the actual latex used on the palm, where a high end goalkeeper glove pretty much 9 out of 10 times is going to have a softer, stickier latex material, which means that it's going to grip the ball better. But because it is softer, it's also going to be less durable. So there is a huge trade-off. If you want maximum durability but less grip, you're going to have to go for a low-end glove. Or if you want maximum grip but kind of somewhat poor durability, going with a high-end glove is basically what you want to do. And again, just to be clear, that is a generalization. I'm sure there's some glove out there that offers really good grip on the ball and also is relatively durable, but as a rule of thumb, higher end gloves, while they will perform better, aren't going to be as durable. Hey Jimmy, how much does something you say about a top-end model apply for its takedown model apart from the aesthetics? In general, not very much. I would say that the stud pattern is something that typically won't change that much from high-end to low-end, although the sole plate definitely will, and that can change the feel of a stud pattern to a certain extent. And I would say most of the time the sizing will be the same across the board from high end to low end. But when it comes to pretty much everything else, including the overall fit, the shape of the boot, that can definitely change from a high-end model to a low-end model, or even just the first takedown. Even a boot that still costs $150, which is crazy that takedown models even cost that much now, can be very, very different from the top-end variation. So it's the reason why I do reviews on the takedown models. It's because they are legitimately different than the top-end boots that pretty much everybody looks at and kind of thinks that when they buy that takedown model, they're getting something similar. Sometimes they are, but most of the time it's just a completely different standalone product. Hey Jackson 5, why do you think the production of the presumably Phantom Vision 2 is taking so long? As far as I'm aware, I don't think that there have been any huge delays for the Phantom Vision 2. It's just kind of running on Nike's normal 2-year cycle, which seems like a long time now, given the fact that there are so many new boots and so many new models and colorways that come out so quickly. 2 years just can seem like forever. But based on what we've seen, it doesn't look like the Phantom Vision 2 is going to be a huge change up from what they did with the original Vision. It looks like it's going to be more of a refinement, which could still be a very good product. Again, until I actually get to try them, it's difficult to say, but maybe they've taken that 2 years and genuinely revamped the product to where it's not only better, but it's also something that is different from what we've ever seen before, which is kind of always my expectation whenever Nike launches something new, especially especially given the fact that they take 2 years to develop, which pretty much every other brand doesn't do. Hey Jackson, have you ever played FIFA before? Well, for those of you guys that have been around a little bit longer, I want to say about 2 years ago, I actually started a Twitch channel, and I think I only did one live stream playing FIFA. I don't know, it probably would have been FIFA 17 or FIFA 18. I'm not entirely sure, I don't remember, but that's the last time that I've played FIFA. So it's been a couple of years now, and the main reason being that I don't know, I just, when I was a kid and I had nothing else to do and video games were kind of the fun thing to do because all your friends were doing it, that's when I was playing a lot of video games. But now that I'm an adult and I have so much else going on in my life, it's just not something that I find the time to do. Not to say that I still wouldn't enjoy playing video games, whether it's FIFA or anything else, but in general, there's just other real life activities that I would rather do at this point in my life. Hey Jamantha, will Nike ever come out with a laceless boot? This was a pretty hot topic a little over a year ago when Nike was rolling out a lot of sneakers and just footwear outside of the football boot space that didn't use traditional laces. They had the Adapt series, which they still have, and I think there's a new one coming out relatively soon, which is like this electric self-lacing thing where you can control it with your phone. Very gimmicky in my opinion, but also kind of cool at the same time. They have the Jordan series that use this kind of ratchet system. I actually did a video on those on my channel because I thought it was pretty interesting and something that they realistically could implement on a football boot, keyword being could, although I don't think that they should, and it wouldn't really be a better way of doing anything. But in general, the laceless thing in the football boot space has really been taken over by the Adidas brand. Even though Lotto was technically the first one to do it, Adidas was the first one to do it where the market, the consumer base really took a liking to it, and they really do get credit for being the founders of laceless technology. And at this moment, aside from Lotto reintroducing a laceless football boot, which is kind of a copy of an Adidas one anyways, they are definitely known by the average consumer as the company to buy from if you want a laceless product. And being that Adidas and Nike are number one and number two in whatever order you want to put them in, if Nike were to do a laceless product, it would be nonstop being called out on every social media platform that they copied Adidas. Even if they did it entirely different, I just don't think that it's something that Nike, from a marketing standpoint, would want to deal with. And they have actually had a couple of subtle shots at Adidas in regards to the whole laceless system. In fact, for those that remember back when the Phantom Vision launched, they actually said that during the prototype phase, they gave professionals to wear in training, you know, the blackouts that they wear, some laceless variations to see what they liked. And they pretty much all decided that the laceless version was worse because they lacked the adjustability and customization that a lacing system introduces on any form of footwear, not just a football boot. So Nike themselves at this point, at least when it comes to football boots, have said that laces are the way to go. So I wouldn't rule it out in the future over the next decade, because that's kind of a hot topic right now. If Nike came out with a laceless football boot, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised by that. But in the immediate future, I don't see it happening. Anyways, guys, that's it for another Q&A. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you have a football boot related question that you'd like me to answer in the next Q&A episode, make sure you go and follow me on Instagram. It is linked down below. If you have any questions regarding anything that I discussed in this video, feel free to ask that down below in the comments, and I'll try to get an answer out to you as soon as I can. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.